that are established by Congress and implemented by agencies like the U.S. EPA, where I formerly worked. You have each state has their own laws and agencies that actually implement state laws. We have federal and state laws to help protect the quality of air and water.
It'd be a paradise to put up a fucking line.
It's not doing anything to protect from the threat. It's not enough. It's not firm enough. It doesn't really address the issues. Government officials today are afraid to take strong steps in the United States. Now, the monitoring, the policing of some of these issues doesn't exist.
Do it, but the government didn't do anything. And for the last 35 years, we hardly did anything. And what little they said they did, it was really half-hearted. It was really poorly done. And so
it seems like the government spends a lot of time on these little things and not so much time on the big things. Another case in point, the oil rig disaster in the Gulf last year. You know, it was bad regulation. You just think, you know, the government just not doing its job.
I think the government is too rigid and could ease up on some of the restrictions and some of the requirements so that they balance the needs of the environment and the needs of the economy, and has gone too far in its rules and regulations, which have a negative impact on the economy, which have a negative impact on doing business in the state of New Jersey, and certainly has a negative impact on creating jobs in the state of New Jersey.
Whereas an example locally for us is when the township and borough bought Woodland Park, we wanted to put in 2 fields there. And after going through a very lengthy process with the Department of Environmental Protection, they decided to rely on an unaffirmed sighting of a wood turtle, and because of that, instead of building 2 fields, which is what we had wanted to do, we could only build 1 field. And that made it not so cost effective, and so we haven't done anything there. But it's But I notice, for example, that when I go to our recreation fields like Tulum Field, I look at the recycling bins that we have there, and I see coffee cups put in the plastic bin. I see trash put in the recycling bins.
I don't think it's that easy. It's not black and white, too much or too little. I think it's about. I don't think we've done a great job identifying our real priorities and then convincing the public that those priorities really where we should be. I think if we're going to be accused of anything, I think it's trying to do too much with limited resources, which results in not doing enough on any one issue.
Agree. Strongly agree.
Strongly agree.
Strongly agree.
Strongly
agree.
They paved paradise and
Strongly agree. Agree.
Agree.
Of course. Strongly agree.
they paved paradise and put up a fuck.
Strongly agree.
Agree. Neutral on that one.
I don't care about spots on my apples. Leave me the birds and the bees, please.
I mean, they have to get your attention. What's the best way to get your attention is to make something sound like it's dire and you better watch it or you're not going to live another day. So in that case, I think some of the issues can be overstated. I think sometimes that they can take one finding of a study and put that out for public consumption, but not recognize that there are other parts of the study that said you have to be careful with how you interpret that information.
Agree. Disagree. Right? Disagree.
Disagree.
Oh, definitely disagree.
No, I don't think we know the half of it.
Now don't it always seem to go that you don't know what you got till it's gone? To be paradise, put up a parking lot.
I'm always.
Always.
Oh,
sorry.
always.
Yeah, always. Sorry. Sometimes.
Always?
Every day, always, yes.
Sometimes.
Listen, late last night, I heard you say, we gotta learn to reduce, reuse, recycle, reduce, reuse.
It's like you just don't throw things on the ground. You know, curb your dog. You know, you use fertilizers and herbicides and pesticides around your home wisely.
Public awareness and education about what we do during our daily lives and activities and how those impact the environment, I think are critically important, because I think if you give people and the public the information that they need and the options to do the right thing, I think they're going to do it.
Be much better informed. You've got to understand what's going on in your legislatures. And you've got to begin to tell your legislators what you want them to do. Writing letters, going to meetings.
I make myself turn off the water when I'm brushing my teeth or when I'm shaving. I think about running the water when you're washing dishes and try not to do that. I think we recycle religiously. We go so far as to think about what products we buy, and we'll look at the packaging, and if the product is in packaging that's not recyclable, but there's another brand that is in recyclable packaging, we think we buy that. There seem to be real threats out there, and so I think it'd be better to be cautious so that there's a nice world for you guys to live in.
Certain things that we need to sustain us, you know. We need to breathe, you need to have water, you need to have food, and you need to have shelter. Whether you're a kangaroo in Australia or a human being in New Jersey, you need those things. And where do we get those from? We get those from the planet, we get those from the environment we live in. So it's important.
Because it's us that is going to make the difference in the world today, in the future. It's you. It's you.
And that we've got a moral obligation to the next generation to make sure that they've got a planet that is sustainable and viable, the same way that we inherited a sustainable, viable planet from our parents and our grandparents.